The world we live in now, the degree of difficulty in running a business is the highest I've ever seen in my personal experience. I also know from people older than me, and this is not being rude, they're saying the same thing. They've never seen it as challenging as what it is currently. And with difficulty comes risk. What am I defining as risk? I look at two things with risk. The first thing is increased cost. Inflation, everything is going through the proverbial roof. Labor, cost of materials, freight to get the materials, it's going up and up and up. That is risk point number one. Risk point number two is more and more cash is going out the door. What do I mean by that? Well, aside from the costs going up and up, there's a greater expectation to hold more stock, to get more stock. I know a business that would historically have 3 containers from overseas coming in. They currently have 9 containers coming in, and their business has only increased by 20%. That to me is the definition of risk. You've tripled the amount of cash you have out there for stock coming in, but you've only increased your business by 20%. Let's look at the factors that go into it and how you can influence it. We're in a unique situation at the moment. There's more and more demands on business. More and more businesses have the opportunity to grow. But with those risks, people are going, what happens when the music stops? At some point, this is going to have to stop. And this being the following. Firstly, people risk. It's hard enough finding people. The problem with the people that you have is that they're demanding more and more money to stay on your team, and they're being poached by other people who are willing to offer more and more money. So the average hourly rate goes from $30 an hour to $40 an hour. There's people risk there. 1, finding people. 2, keeping people, and the cost you have to bear to keep those people. The next element of risk is machinery or asset risk. It takes at the moment around 2 years to get a Toyota. It takes around 2 years to get a Kenworth truck. What about a CNC machine? What about a laser cutter? All these different manufacturing processes, it's not just the cost of the investment to help increase the capacity, it's the lead time that it takes to get it into your possession. Again, what if the music stops tomorrow and you've paid a deposit of $50,000 on a new bit of machinery that isn't due for another 9 months, and your demand for your product has gone down 20%. Your business might be carrying more debt as a result of the assets you've purchased, and those assets might be excess capacity. There's the risk of getting the product. I know a number of industries where the underlying materials of what they use to manufacture their product are just simply harder to get hold of. And it's not even an element of I'm willing to pay any price. It's also an element of I just can't get my hands on it. How can you run a manufacturing business that does wood furniture if you don't have any wood? The next risk is the actual possession risk. You might be able to source the material, but what if it's sitting on a wharf in Shanghai and they're in lockdown for 4 weeks and they can't get it onto the boat? You've been able to commission the product and materials you need, but you can't get it into your possession. So freight prices are going up. The demand for freight is going up. And the simple longevity of how long it takes to get it in your possession is another element of risk. Like that example I gave earlier, where they've trebled the amount of containers they have on the go at any one point in time. So the risk we're sitting with, and many business owners are acutely aware of this, is the decisions I make today are going to have an impact when all this stops. My break even is going to be considerably higher. My cash that is out the door in prepayments and in stock is far higher than what it's ever been before. And I'm left with a business that doesn't necessarily have the demand that it had 12, 18, or even 6 months ago. After that whole review, you might be going, why on earth am I even running this business? What's even the point? I should just go get a job somewhere else and have way less stress. As a result of all these risks associated with running a business, I want to introduce you to something we refer to as pricing for risk. You should be demanding the greatest gross profit percentage you've ever achieved in your business during this period of time because of the risks associated with running your business. Bitcoin not long ago was through the roof. Now it's down through the floor. When it's through the roof, everyone thinks that it's not going to stop. It's going to keep going through the roof. So don't be complacent and think, oh, it won't happen, this time is different. Your break-even's going to go up, your debt obligations are high, and the cash that's out the door is the greatest it's ever been. So you need to get more gross profit from what you're selling. It takes a lot of conviction on the part of your sales team if you have a relationship where your sales team is speaking directly with the consumer over the phone. Now, if you're running a catalog or an online business, you can simply tweak the price of that versus having an interaction with a human being, but it's still a challenging exercise. What we want to achieve is get the right balance between revenue we generate, available capacity that we have, and our desired profit goal. And the way to do that is through pricing increases beyond the cost increases we are currently incurring within our business. So if our costs have gone up 5%, our price needs to go up 10%. No one's taking a pay cut. No one, when the recession comes or when business goes down, is going to be asking for less pay. It's going to stay the same. So whatever you commit to today, you're committing to that for the foreseeable future. To increase your prices, it is going to be easier, and I say easier in air quotes, if you have strong brand position in the market for the product or service you offer. You need to be a price leader, don't be a price follower. And this takes a lot of gumption, it takes a lot of internal fortitude to be able to do this, because you're able to look the client in the eyes and tell them, or the prospect, that you're adding exceptional value for what they're receiving associated with the risks of running the business at the moment. We want to be here tomorrow to help service you, not just disappear the next day as soon as there's any form of downturn that occurs. We had a conversation recently and one of the sales team said, I can't believe that I sell our product now for the price that we're selling it for. And we said, you better believe it, because if we're not selling it for that price, we are not making the amount of money we need to make off that product. The ideal outcome is doing the softer elements. Softer as in you've got strong brand, you've got pricing power, you're in a position to market your business, or you've positioned your business that the market sees you as a leader. But what if you're not? You just got to suck it up. The reality is it needs to be communicated to your sales team that if you're not selling the product for the price you need, you're running a business that could be in the ground sooner than you know it.